All right. Hello. Thank you. Thank you, New Museum Los Gatos, for, for the exhibition and opportunity for who's watching series. So that allows me to explore different themes and ideas. But much of my work has botanical elements running through it. I love plants. I'm not much of an animal person, but I do really love plants. I feel a spiritual connection and grounding in nature. And it always returns me to peace from all the worries and troubles of life. I think we live in a very strange world, just inundated by advertising and marketing pushing on us about how we should look, who we should be, how we should live. And it's all explicitly aimed at making us dissatisfied so that we'll buy stuff. Nature is a beautiful, perfect antidote to that mess. And I try to weave my love of nature throughout my work. I'm also a really big believer in lifelong learning and personal development. For nearly 4 decades, I've been studying applied philosophy, linguistics, and alternative spirituality practices. All these disciplines share a common component of questioning reality. What is real and how do we know? I love all this questioning. I love encountering the mysteries of life, and I try to maintain a mood of curiosity. All this led to my series of imaginary botanicals, which are my imagining of botanical life in alternate realities. I have made a series of imaginary tumbleweeds, including deep sea tumbleweed. I'm quite enamored with the idea. I suppose it's pretty romantic, but the idea of a tumbleweed living one life and then bumping across the land, living a totally different life. I like to imagine tumbleweeds in alternate realities with different personalities. Deep sea tumbleweed isn't actually directly related to the COVID theme. My husband and I had a major catastrophe due to COVID, and I decided not to be a whiner and not to get mired down and stuck, but simply to keep moving forward. That has become a daily mantra for me. Just take the next step forward. So deep sea tumbleweed is a product of just moving forward. Okay, next slide, please. I thought I'd talk a little bit about my glass process since most people are at least familiar with glass blowing. My technique is called flame working, and it's the modern version of the ancient lamp working when artists melted glass over little oil lamps. I use a torch that runs on oxygen and propane and melt and sculpt the glass in the flame. I start with tubes and rods of glass, some clear, some colored. And the image here on the right is the beginning of a tumbleweed, which I make by melting and adding one strand of hot glass at a time. Next slide, please. To make a piece, I make all the parts first, then assemble the parts into the piece. In this image, I'm blowing a section of glass tube to create a hollow fruit. I add color to the glass tube by melting in layers of colored glass powders. And what's next in my work? There are a few series of my work calling me with new ideas. With my natural botanicals, which are sculptures that look like real plants, I'm interested in working with frames like this piece here and the one in the previous slide of the pears to create still lifes, and trompe l'oeil, which are realistic works that are aimed at fooling the viewer's eye. These two pieces in these two slides were the first in that direction. And then I have a series, a very different series I call Questionable Foods, which is about all the food issues of today, the conflict about GMOs, all the added sugars in our foods, pesticides, all those issues. So I have a bunch of ideas in that series that I'll be continuing. And I have a brand new series I just started that's aimed at empowering empowering women in their accomplishments. So far, I've made 4 sort of lacy glass uteruses, all adorned with various botanical elements. And I'll be continuing that. I'm going to try to show one here if I can, so you know what I'm talking about. So it's a big glass uterus with sort of a glass corsage on top. I'm making them in different sizes and colors and so on. So I have tons of interesting ideas to explore. And that's it for me. Thank you very much again for this opportunity to share my work.